Okay, Bassel, let's take a look at this new set of essays that you sent us. The first one is about spending money on weddings, the benefits of it as opposed to its disadvantages, let's say. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated about the pros and cons of spending significant amounts of money on weddings. While some believe it has numerous advantages, I would argue that the benefits of economic spending on weddings far outweigh the disadvantages. This will explain the reasons to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay. Let's see. When you say economic spending, I assume you mean being frugal, right? That's how I interpreted it. I had to read it a couple of times to make sure I understood, but I think this is what you mean. Let's see how you developed it. On the one hand, there is ample evidence, no S, that many people desire to pay a lot of money on their wedding celebration. A wedding party is really something very specific, and this isn't what you mean. So you mean on their wedding celebrations, or celebration singular. The central reasons behind this are as follows. Primarily, people love to spread their happiness in such a memorable day with their family members and their friends, whom are quite high in number, and those invitees are mostly cannot be avoided, not are. Furthermore, in this ceremony, the couple wishes to show off their generosity through organizing a high level of celebration that consequently brings high level of satisfaction for them. For instance, a recent empirical research was conducted a few months ago demonstrated that 75% of the wedding ceremonies that occurred in Europe cost more than 10,000 euros per each, showing how important for people to pay big amounts of money for astounded events. In other words, although such fancy wedding costs high amounts of money, the multiple benefits, such as family gathering and preparing a unique ceremony, are paying off the cost. All right. There are a couple of problems here. The first problem for me, honestly, Bassel, is the grammar. It was pretty consistently, it had inaccuracies pretty consistently. So I want to go through the inaccuracies first. But I also want to cover where the task achievement was a little, you were treading some dangerous territory here. Let me explain to you what I mean. One of the problems that a lot of students have been having with this essay is that they don't understand the idea of the benefits of spending a lot of money. And what they do is they end up explaining the reasons why people spend a lot of money on weddings, but the reasons are not the same thing as the benefits. So the benefits are something we gain from spending a lot of money. There were a couple of times where I felt you kind of entered this territory, and I was like, oh, I don't know, are we going to get it right, or are we not going to get it right? So let's talk about both the grammar and then your task achievement. So, on the one hand, there is ample evidence that many people desire to pay a lot of money on their wedding day. You could say that as well. The central reasons behind this are as follows. You should have had colon here. Primarily, people love to spend their happiness on such a memorable day with their family members and their friends, who are quite high in number, and those invitees mostly cannot be avoided. So this is something that needs a little extension. Because you want to share this day with all those people, this is going to be added expense as opposed to an intimate ceremony. But the happiness gained from having all of your loved ones and close friends and family there make this cost worth it. So do you see how it's different? You're trying to show the benefits. In other words, it would not be as enjoyable. You wouldn't have that happiness and sense of satisfaction if you had a small intimate wedding with just very few close people, as it would if you spent maybe 3, 4, 5 times the money inviting all of your friends from your past, your present, all your relatives, all of your neighbors, all of your acquaintances. It just would lead to a happier feeling for both the couple and also, of course, for the guests. So when you talk about it like this, then you're explaining how it's a benefit, okay? What is the result of this spending? It's this feeling of happiness, this feeling of satisfaction, and also this feeling that you're spoiling your guests, okay? So this is an advantage, whereas if you just said that you want it to be a memorable day, that's really just a reason. I hope that makes sense. All right, let's see. Furthermore, in this ceremony, the couple wishes to show off their generosity by organizing a high-level celebration that consequently brings an equally high level of satisfaction for them. So when I say an equally high level, then it's kind of, it shows that you purposely had this repetition of this expression here. For instance, recent empirical research, no A, was conducted a few months ago. No. Let's try it again. For instance, recent empirical research conducted a few months ago demonstrated that 75% of the wedding ceremonies that occur in Europe cost more than 10,000, no S, euros each, showing how important it is for people to pay large amounts of money for, I have no idea what this means, astounded events. I really don't understand that at all. In other words, although such fancy weddings cost large amounts of money, the multiple benefits, such as family gathering and preparing a unique ceremony, are, no, I don't like this paying off the cost. And I also didn't like, in other words, I wanted something a little more formal, a little bit more that showed this was a conclusion. So you could have said here, therefore. And that would have been okay with me. Okay. Okay. And I didn't like this paying off the cost. Make up for the cost maybe makes sense. Or makes the cost worth it. Or what else could you have said? Unique ceremony. Certainly... yeah, I mean, reciprocate, not even reciprocate, just make up for the cost. Or justify the cost would also work. Moving on. Wow, this is an enormous paragraph. Let's see what you wrote. On the other hand, although there is a case for the benefits of paying such huge amounts, the benefits of skipping the conventional way of wedding ceremony and economically spent on this day far outweigh the disadvantages. This is largely because it must not be neglected that the financial burden is a prime reason for a marriage's failure. In this period, the financial distress is extremely high on both parties due to the various arrangements that require enormous shots. I don't know what that means. Enormous amounts of money to be spent. For example, recent statistics, get rid of that A, developed by the Egyptian government reveal that only 10% of the newly married people who can afford the high cost of the marriage process. That's the wrong word here. The wedding ceremony, the wedding celebrations. Let's see. So, reveal that only 10% of the newly married people can afford, get rid of this who, the high cost of weddings, while the rest depend, get rid of the S here, on loans and family help, no the. Therefore, if the people continue to follow the wave and pay huge amounts of money just to show how they are well off, there could be serious implications, S, for the continuation of the relation. I don't know what that means, the continuation of the relation. What do you mean? It would make the marriage go bad? You have to explain why. Let's see. Furthermore, it should be highlighted that the value of the amount paid in this event is not considered as a top priority for the couples. More specifically, this money usually paid for serving the attendees and for a famous singer or tap dancer just to stay few hours, which could easily be replaced by a renowned DJ with only 10% of the cost, thus will provide the same level of happiness. Wow! Enormous sentence. Look where it started. And went 1, 2, 3, 4. It went to the 5th line. So that's a little overdoing it. Honestly, I don't even know if I would have added all of this. Although I think I understand why you did it. All right, let me read it again, see if we can correct the grammar. This money, okay, so full stop, new sentence. This money is usually paid for serving the attendees and for a famous singer or top dancer just to stay a few hours, which could be easily replaced by a renowned DJ with only 10% of the cost, thus providing the same level of happiness. I would have gotten rid of the thus too, providing the same level of happiness. For instance, a recent survey conducted at the main University of Cairo showed that the majority of students prefer to cut down the expenses on the wedding and use this money to prolong the duration of the honeymoon, or use it to upgrade the booking of the hotel. Hence, the couple should seek the ultimate happiness for their relationship. Still, it's awkward. And focus on how they should use their money in a more efficient way, especially in this tight period. Full stop. In conclusion, I firmly believe that spending on weddings should be considered in a better way. Although there are mere benefits, I don't like that word, mere benefits. While there are some benefits for a luxurious wedding, the multiple and the long-lasting benefits of paying a reasonable amount of money on that day is ultimate. That's the wrong word here, ultimate. Okay, so obviously we ran into some problems with some grammar. We ran into some problems with some vocabulary. There were some things that I thought you really could have left out. My first question to you is, how long did this essay test take you? This is really very, very long. Now, here's the thing. You're supposed to talk about benefits, meaning more than one benefit, and more than one disadvantage. I saw that you did that here. You did talk about multiple benefits. And that's why I said, oh, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to give me another disadvantage. So I'm glad that you did that. But really, this paragraph is really, really long. I don't want to say it's twice the size of the other paragraph, but it's at least like 1/3 bigger. That's a little problematic. Remember that you're supposed to kind of balance your paragraphs. You're supposed to spend at least, try to spend an equal amount of time on each of the body paragraphs, and it didn't feel like you did that. It felt like you really, really went into tons of details here. And I would invite you to reduce in this paragraph and try to remove maybe some of the ideas, some of the language. I would try to really condense this a little bit if you could. Okay? Yeah, and this of the relation. I wasn't really sure what you were talking about. Did you mean the relationship between the husband and wife? So there were some areas that were a little confusing. Some word choice problems and the task achievement. It was really long. I really think you could have condensed this a little bit, okay? Let's see what else we have. Okay, so we also have a task 1 here. It's your cover letter. So let's see what you wrote. Dear Sir, also long. Let's say, Dear Sir, I would like to shed some lights on my qualifications that might fit me in the position required, Finance Director. Firstly, I have a master's degree from the best school in finance. Harvard is always on the list of top 10. In addition, I have around 20 years of extensive financial experience in numerous international organizations. Furthermore, I am certified in management accountant and have a proven track record in people management. For example, I have led a team of 20 accountants during the past few years. Okay, so it's got a lot of awkwardness, Bassel. Let me tell you what I mean. Dear Sir, you have to talk about why are you writing? When we start a letter, we always talk about the reason for our writing. So you need to make this clearer, and there is some specific language that we use in this case. So something like, Dear Sir, I am writing to apply for the position of Finance Director as advertised on your website on Tuesday the 18th of whatever. Okay? Please allow me to highlight my qualifications for this position. Then, I have a master's degree from, don't say the best school in finance, it sounds a little arrogant. So let's say instead, I have a master's degree from Harvard University. You don't have to say anything else. Everybody knows what Harvard University is, so just stop your sentence there. New sentence. I have not around 20 years. I have over 20 years of extensive finance experience in numerous international organizations. Furthermore, I am a certified accountant. I don't know what that means. And have a proven track record in, I don't know what this means, people management. What does that mean? Do you mean human resources management? Do you mean in supervising people? So that was really confusing to me. I have led a team of 20 accountants during the past few years. Okay, that's fine. So let's move on. My managers always applaud me for having the required knowledge as well as the proper energy to meet tough deadlines and attain all the objectives. I have read the job description and I really feel so excited to join in. I am sure it will be a great challenge, and I am very certain that my contribution will be of a great value to your esteemed company. All right, it was fine until I got to this point. I didn't like this. I feel so excited to join in. It's a cover letter, so this kind of language is just far too informal. It's not appropriate. I have read the job description and am confident that this position is an ideal fit for me. All right, something like that would sound better. Okay, next paragraph. Additionally, it is good. No. Additionally, I should highlight that I have hands-on, put a dash here, experience in all the, I don't know what this means, the tasks requested. I have hands-on experience in all the areas listed in the advertisement, as I hold a similar position in my current company. I have been in this post for over 5 years. During this period, I have gained, because you have during here, I have gained deep knowledge about financial statements and cash flow management. In addition, new sentence, I have led a mega project for implementing the financial system in the company. And the project was up and running within 6 months. I understood from the post that this is a must for consideration, not admission. Oh, no thanks, never thanks. It's formal. It's a formal letter, so it should be thank you. No, not for reading through. I thank you in advance for your consideration. I am looking forward to hearing back from you. Full stop. Don't say this because it's assumed that they do. And then, since you didn't know the name of the person you're writing to, the appropriate sign-off is yours faithfully, because you don't know the name of the person. In fact, I would also avoid this dear sir. I would do dear sir or madam. Okay, this is 2019, so it's a good idea to refer to both. You don't know who you're writing to. Okay, yours faithfully should be your sign-off. And like I said, you had some problems here with your language. So yeah, there are a few things I would change here, Bassel. Quite a few things. So go ahead and do that now. Go ahead, correct these, return them back corrected, and let's see what you write in your next set, okay? Certainly detailed, but some of it was a little not well worded, and let's see what you write in your next set, okay? Good luck to you.